And welcome back to Howie's Heroes, a podcast focusing on, of course, Howie Roseman, the GM of the Philadelphia Eagles, because he is truly the one that has put the Eagles in the position that they're in right now, sitting at 10-1 atop of the NFC and looking like the Super Bowl favorite right now. So let's get right into it. This podcast is called Howie's Heroes because Howie Roseman obviously is the hero of the year so far for the Eagles as far as off the field matters goes. Let's just go through some of the moves Roseman has made so far this season. In the offseason, of course, let's just go through the signings to start. Players he signed: wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey. Obviously, Jeffrey so far has been not the best, but he still played very well for Carson Wentz, and looks like he's on a one-year deal, which was a good deal because it was a prove-it deal. So Jeffrey's going to have to prove it that he wants to play here next year, and I think he definitely does with the success that this team's having, with the success that he's having with Wentz. And the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's actually really started to turn it on. Him and Wentz look like they've been on the same page way more, so it looks like Jeffrey hopefully will re-sign next year. We also signed wide receiver Torrey Smith. Now, Smith has been definitely a disappointment so far for the Eagles this year, but, he still you still have to respect him. He's a deep threat guy. He can go down the field. He's a speed guy. Hasn't had a lot of success in the passing offense, but, we don't really need him to do that this season, but it was still not a terrible signing by Howie. We also signed running back LeGarrette Blount. Obviously, Blount is the guy in this backfield. I mean, it's more of a running back by committee type of offense right now, but Blount still gets the majority of the touches. He's coming off a season where he led the NFL in touchdowns with the Patriots. We got him for really cheap on a one-year deal. So it'll be interesting to see if LeGarrette Blount comes back next year. I really doubt it because of the trade with Jay Ajayi that the Eagles just had. I think they're going to move towards having Ajayi in that feature back role. But so far this season, Blount has played well. Defensive end, Chris Long definitely contributed on offense. Defense. We shored up our offensive line by signing Chance Warmack, a great signing. Kicker, when Sturgis went down, how he looks around, shops around, picks up a guy, Jake Elliott. What does he do? He comes in, nails a 61-yard game winner against the New York Giants. So without Jake Elliott, we're probably 9-2 right now. Cornerback Patrick Robinson. Now, Robinson's been the surprise of the season so far for the Eagles. I mean, the secondary was definitely, coming into the season, the weakest part, with a lot of players who haven't proven themselves in the NFL, and Patrick Robinson is having a crazy good season. I mean, not that he has that many interceptions or anything like that, but he's locking down his defenders in the slot. He's making tackles when he needs to, and he's really been a solid player for the Eagles on defense. And, of course, my favorite signing is running back Corey Clement out of South Jersey, Glassboro native. He went undrafted, comes out of the University of Wisconsin, where he had 4 great seasons there, battled through injuries for some of those years, so maybe that's why he didn't get drafted. But diamond in the rough, Howie picks him up, signs him. He's got 4 touchdowns this year for the Eagles, and he's looking really good. He's definitely going to be on the team next year, and I'm glad he made the team this year because it was really coming down to in the preseason whether the Eagles were going to take Corey Clement or their new draft pick, Donnell Pumphrey, as one of the last roster spots. And I'm really glad they gave it to Clement because Clement really outplayed Pumphrey in the preseason, so they stashed Pumphrey away on the practice squad for this year. But like I said, Corey Clement, diamond in the rough, one of my favorite signings Howie has made. Now we got to shift to the trade aspect. The trades Howie's made. Okay, we got Jay Ajayi for only a 4th-round pick. Jay Ajayi, the feature back for the Miami Dolphins, who is coming off a great season last year. Not so great of a season so far this year, and there was reports that maybe he wasn't liking things in that Miami locker room. That's why maybe we were able to get him for so cheap, but Howie really snagged him for a 4th-round pick, still on his rookie contract, so I think we have him for 2 more years after this season on his rookie deal. We're not going to have to pay him a lot of money. And hopefully in these next 2 years he can prove that he wants to stay here. We offer him a long-term deal with some more money when he's off that contract. But Jay Ajayi so far hasn't really played that much with the Eagles. I mean, like I said, this running back squad is a running back by committee. They play not Pumphrey. They play Clement. They play LeGarrette Blount. And, J.A. Jai certainly starting to get his touches. Although he fumbled in the last game on a big run down the field. He fumbled it right outside of the end zone, strip sack from behind, and luckily Nelson Aguilar was able to fall on that ball in the end zone. But, as Jai stays here more, he'll become more and more comfortable with this offense. I think he will definitely thrive with this team. Now, we also traded for Ronald Darby, and that has so far been a great trade for the Eagles. They needed to shore up their secondary, especially with Sidney Jones, who they drafted this year, out with an injury for the season. So they get that veteran in Darby from the Buffalo Bills. We gave up Jordan Matthews and a third-round pick in 2018, which I think is a great deal for the Birds. I mean, Jordan Matthews was a great slot guy here, but we don't miss him. Nelson Aguilar has proven he can step right in his shoes in the slot and really play well. And then, of course, the Carson Wentz trade is the trade of all trades for Howie so far. Moves up in the draft, snags him. He trades away a lot of draft picks for Carson, but is able to get that first-round draft pick back by trading Sam Bradford when Sam Bradford goes down last season. So, 3 great trades right there. And then we just look to the draft this year. And the draft, we had Derek Barnett. Obviously, he led the Tennessee Volunteers in sacks in his career, breaking Reggie White's record, a great omen to come onto the Eagles, and he's been playing well. He gets time in the defensive rotation. Quarterback Sidney Jones, we got in the second round, he was a projected first-round pick. Obviously, he hurt his Achilles, so he's out for the season. So we have yet to see anything from Jones, but hopefully he can come right in and fit in with this talented secondary that the Eagles have shown. Quarterback Rasul Douglas out of West Virginia. Now, he has been playing out of his mind as a rookie, really making good tackles and also being a very good cover corner. Wide receiver Matt Collins out of UNC. Hollins has already contributed. He's a big body. He can go up and get the ball. He has a touchdown this season, so glad to see him in there. And then the only thing I think Howie really missed on in the draft was Donnell Pumphrey. He's a really small back. He's a Darren Sproles prototype. Didn't make the team this year. On the practice squad, actually got hurt. So we'll see what can come out of him next season. But as far as the draft this year goes, A plus. I'd say A, maybe an A plus. I don't know. A plus. Depends how Sidney Jones plays. If Sidney Jones comes out firing, this is an A plus draft for the Eagles. It's definitely looking like. And all of this because of Howie Roseman. The Eagles are 10-1 right now, top of the NFC East in the Super Bowl push because of Howie Roseman. Players he signed, trades he's made, and then of course the draft. And thank goodness Chip Kelly's not here, and Jeffrey Lurie decided to give the power back to Howie. This is Howie's Heroes podcast signing off. We'll be back on next week, and you can catch a new episode every Monday night. Adios.